Welcome. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how we can run and execute our JavaScript code. So the first thing we need to do is we actually need to create an HTML page so that way we can run our JavaScript code from there. As I mentioned before, I will be using VS Code for editing all my files. However, you are welcome to follow along with another code editor of your choice. Alright, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make a project folder that we can go ahead and store all of our files in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the top, I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Open, and then I'm going to go ahead and navigate to my desktop, and I want to go ahead and create a folder called JS Intro. And then what you want to do is go ahead and click on Open, and what this is going to do is in our editor, it's going to go ahead and select that folder, and that's going to be our project folder for our current workspace. And by doing this, any files that we create in our interface here will automatically be saved to that folder. So then to create a new file, we're going to go ahead and click on this icon here, or you can also go to the top, you can go File, New File, and then I'm just going to go ahead and call this hello world.html. And then because this is an HTML page, let's go ahead and add our doc type. So we have our doc type of HTML. Let's go ahead and add our HTML tag element. Let's go ahead and add our head tag element. And let's go ahead and add our body. So one thing I want to call out here is as I'm typing, you see these little snippets start appearing. So this is all built into VS Code. So by default, the code editor recognizes our file extension, and it's showing us code snippets that are relevant to this file type. So because this is an HTML page, it's recommending us HTML tag elements that we can add as code snippets. So it's autocomplete. Another nice feature you'll see is as I select my elements, when I go ahead and finish the first tag element, it's automatically adding our closing tag element for us. Next, in our head tag, let's go ahead and add a title tag. And I'm just going to call our title Hello World. And then in our body tag, I'm going to go ahead and add a paragraph tag element. We'll also go ahead and do Hello World there as well. All right, so now that we have our HTML page created, I want to go ahead and open that page inside our browser. So one of the ways we can do that is if we switch over to our desktop, let's go ahead and go into our JS Intro folder, and let's go ahead and just double click on our HTML page. And then what should happen is that file should open up in our browser over here. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger, and you can see we have our Hello World page. Oh, so we have a spelling error. Let's go ahead and fix that really quick and save, and we'll go ahead and refresh. So to go ahead and actually run and execute our first line of JavaScript code, we're going to go ahead and do this in our browser's developer console. So as I mentioned before, I will be using Chrome for this course. However, you are welcome to follow along with another web browser of your choice. So in Chrome, if we go to the menu, I'm going to go ahead and go to More Tools and then Developer Tools. And what this is going to do is going to open up a suite of tools that are available to developers. And these are essential while you're working on HTML code and JavaScript code. Because it's going to allow you to help you debug your code. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to make sure we go ahead and select on console. And what I'm going to do is make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. And this console here is really powerful because we can write JavaScript code in the console and it will run and execute on our web page. And what's also great is if we have any global variables available, we can reference them from our web page in the console here. So for our first line of JavaScript code, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do alert. So alert is a function where we can pass a string to it, and it's going to create a pop-up to notify the user of some type of message. So I'm just going to go alert, and for my message, I'm going to go ahead and do hi. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. So right away when I hit enter, the console is going to go ahead and run and execute this code, and you'll see I get my notification and it says hi. And if I go ahead and click OK, it'll dismiss it. And we just ran our first line of JavaScript code. So in addition to running JavaScript on our web console here, we can also add that code to our HTML page and execute it that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shrink our console a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and move our web page over so we can go ahead and write some code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this line for our console here. And I'm going to go ahead and add it to our body tag here in our page. And then I'm going to go ahead and save. I'm going to go ahead and refresh our page here. So right away, when we refresh our page, we see that the code we wrote is actually rendering to our page here. So you might be wondering what's happening here. So even though this is JavaScript code, when we add it to our web page here, it gets treated as raw text. So that's why it's getting rendered out as raw text here. And we actually need to use a special type of tag to run and execute JavaScript code. And this tag is actually called a script tag. So the script tag is unique because when the browser runs and executes our code, when it encounters the script tag, it knows that it needs to treat the code inside that tag differently than the code that we wrote to be rendered to our page. This code here will be treated as JavaScript and it'll actually be ran and executed as JavaScript. So if we copy the same line here and we place it inside our script tag, right away we notice a key difference in our editor. So first, you can see that our text here was treated as plain text, so it's just all black. However, our editor recognizes that this is now JavaScript code because it's in this script tag. So now we get syntax highlighting because we see it's a function alert, and then we can see the arguments that we can pass. So now if we save and refresh our web page, we should see our code running. Perfect. So we see our notification with our hi message. And if we go ahead and click OK, our web page appears.